Assigning data types in Excel can help us very quickly manipulate how the data is displayed without us having to do very much manual manipulation at all, which is always a good thing. So let's take a look at this data and go column by column and manipulate how it is formatted. We'll start with column B, and I'll select the entire column, and notice that these dates are quite long. And if we go to the home ribbon in the number group, in this drop down you'll see it says date. So this is already formatted as a date, but it's formatted as a long date. So if we wanted a more condensed version, we could use the drop down and go to short date. I like this, but in case you are wondering, there are more options. You can click the arrow in the bottom right hand corner and this dialog box will pop up. In the category date, we have a ton of different options to work with. So maybe I want this one instead, so I'll select it, press OK, and now we're seeing just the month and the day. I'll leave this be and move on to the next column. The next column is transaction total. So instantly I'm thinking that I want a $sign in front of it, but I don't have to manually add a $sign in front of it. I can head back up to our number group, and in the drop down I will select currency. Now it puts that $sign in front of it for me. On to the next column, we have percent discount, and these percents are written as decimals, which for some people that may not be what you're looking for. Maybe you really want to see it written out as a percentage with a percent sign. If that's the case, you can either use this shortcut button or the drop down and select percentage. In this case, 2 decimal places are shown. If you decided that you did not want those to be shown, you can come back up next to where we were looking at before, and these 2 buttons will allow you to remove or add in decimal places. So we'll remove them both and leave it like that. Next, we'll look at custom formats. So right now we just have numbers that are all together, but maybe I wanted it to be a custom format. Maybe I wanted it to be number, number, dash, number, dash, number, 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 number. If that's the case, I'm going to need a custom format. I've selected that entire column, and I'll go to the arrow in the bottom right hand corner of the number group, and this dialog box will pop up with all of our different data types. All the way down at the bottom there is custom, and this allows us to create our own custom format. To do that, we'll erase the general that's in the type box there, and I'm going to use zeros as placeholders. So the zeros that I'm typing is just telling Excel, this is the format that I want it. The zeros are just digits. So I'm going to follow that same format that we were looking for. So 00 dash 0 dash 0 0 0 0. That's now our new format. I can press OK, and we'll see that all of the numbers in that column get formatted in that way. Lastly, we'll look at a very common issue that people see, and that is disappearing zeros. So if I were to type 0 0 0 1 2 3, for instance, when I click enter, those zeros go away, which can be very, very annoying. So we can fix that with a custom format. I will select column F and go back to where we were, the dialog box, all the way to the bottom, custom, and then here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my zeros as placeholders. So this is going to end up being 6 characters long, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when I click OK, you'll notice that it's going to put as many leading zeros as it needs in order to fill up the extra space, so it fills up those ones that were deleted. Before we move on, make sure that you go into the dialog box here and get familiar with all of the different options that you have for your data types so that you are ready to go with any situation. And then we'll move on to how to freeze columns and rows.